Hello. See, this is
Okay, I'll
see, that's a retake, isn't it?
I'm speaking on the phone.
Yeah, hello. My name's Michael Wallace. I'm the co-founder of KickoffAt3, and also I'm a serving police officer.
I'm actually Levien. I'm also co-founder of KickoffAt3, and I'm a bus driver.
We've met, I'll say roughly about possibly 2012. I was working as a schools liaison officer in the borough of Barnet. I love sports, love football. My brother was a former professional footballer. I come very much from a footballing family. My dad was a football coach. My dad was a DJ, so we loved football music around the house. There was a football project called Barnet Kicks, and there was a lovely lady by the name of Leslie Neal, who was my line manager, and she was running Barnet Kicks at the time, and she said, look, I think you should meet Ashley Levien, because I think you two got something really in common. You've got a synergy, a passion to help young people. You love football. She put us in contact with one another, and here we are today. For me, the motivation for doing this is there's a couple of reasons. First of all, I left school at 16. My dream was to be a PE teacher, and believe it or not, a police officer. But I didn't come out of school with the qualifications that I'd hoped. I struggled at school. I was always that hard worker, but never quite achieved the grades that my family wanted me to achieve. And I left school a little bit lost. But it's only going on to later into life is I come to find out I was dyslexic. So that kind of made me realise where I struggled. And fortunately for me, I had support and people that believed in me. There's a lot of young people out there that they don't have the support, they don't have the belief, the arm around them. So for me, one of our fundamental reasons, or why I do this, joined up with Ashley, is that giving back, helping others where I've been helped up that ladder. You can be whatever you want to be, and I'm a living testament. I joined the police only 11 years ago, so it's taken me all this time to get where I am. So for all I do is my passion to give back through football, through music, and just doing things from the heart.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I've got that typical story of growing up in the Estates. So I grew up in northwest London. I grew up in, the majority of the estates in northwest London. So coming from that kind of background, you can see how things have changed. So it's about making young people aware of the opportunities that are out there for them, and utilising them instead of getting themselves into certain situations. Unfortunately, I was kicked out of my house when I was 16. I was basically living on the streets. So I've got that lack of, that breakdown in parental relationship as well, which I can relate to a lot of these young people with. So, my drive comes from my past, and knowing that there are so many young people out there that are living, my past, and will be living my past going forward. So it's about how can we help them to try and change, what I went through, basically, so that they don't go through it. And football for me, I've grown up around football as well, so passionate about football, love football. I'm a big Arsenal fan, unfortunately, but football is kept me out of trouble. I had the opportunity to go and volunteer with Arsenal Kicks as part of an apprenticeship that I was on many years ago. So that kind of made me realise that football community, putting them together is very powerful. But like Mike said, not everyone likes football. There's so many other things that young people these days are into, and it's about how we can get them actively involved and positively involved in a multitude of different things. 2015,
I was invited by the Black Police Association, which I'm proudly executive committee member of the Black Police Association, and I lead. Now I've been voted in youth community engagement across London, so I'm proud to hold that title in its own right. So at the time, I was a member at the time. I was invited to one of our headquarters to an annual meeting that the Black Police Association have, and there was a charity there called the African Caribbean Leukemia Trust, who have been closely associated with the Black Police Association. And the charity was set up by Orrin Lewis and Beverly DeGale, who unfortunately lost their son to leukemia at 21 years of age. Their son Daniel DeGale was a big football fan, a big Man United fan, and he actually comes, or the family come from one of the areas I grew up in, around Croydon. But that's where the charity are based. So they were there talking to police officers, staff members about how they can possibly save a life by signing up on the blood stem register. A lot of people don't know that actually the African Caribbean Leukemia Trust share the same database as the Anthony Nolan Trust. So if you sign up on the database, it's actually shared, working together, the Anthony Nolan Trust. So they set up the charity to spread that awareness, predominantly in the black community, around signing up about bone marrow. I thought it was amazing what I'd never heard about them before. And there's always been that stigma about bone marrow, especially there is that stigma in the black community. You hear about bone marrow, you think, oh, are you donating your bone? Not actually realising, because I certainly didn't realise, so that's me being very honest, I didn't actually know it's not your bone, it's your blood stem. So it's certainly an educational tool for me. And that's what we need to be aware that, don't be afraid to say you don't know. I approached the charity, and there was a lady by the name of Anna Berman, who worked for the Met Police at the time, and said, want to do something. They said, well, what can you do? We said, well, we'd like to host a football tournament in memory of their son. So in 2016, I approached Ashley. He will tell you the rest of the story, but he was invited to come along to the tournament, which in February 2016 in Sutton, and bring along a team. And we invited the local Safe and Neighbourhood policing team, and we advertised it ourselves. We ran the tournament. I say we run the tournament, it's actually Ashley that ran the tournament, which I think I had no idea how it went.
Yeah, that was, you put me on the spot, man. With, I think with my experience of running football tournaments, with Barnet Football Club, I was fortunate to know, what I was doing. But so Mike said, I was invited to bring a team from my Kicks project down to Sutton and just take part, Ended it, by the start of the tournament, Ashley, can you do this? Can you do that? And by the end of it, I run the whole thing. But I mean, that's a story in itself. That's working together, and someone might not have the answers to something. So how can you, educate them and help them out, and really work together and make a difference. So from there, we looked at it and we said, this is great. Why can't we, take this and do our own thing with it, put our own spin on it? So I believe it was the same year.
Yeah.
We ran another one in our borough in Barnet, where Michael was working at the time, and we engaged with how many kids?
There's about 150 young people from across London came, and we didn't realise at the time, but we didn't realise what we were doing, but we was actually dispelling that myth of postcodes, because they heard what we were doing. They knew that I was the police. They knew that Ashley was in the community, but they were still coming. That they wanted to take part in a football tournament to raise awareness, support. And a key factor of that tournament, 150 people turned up. We raised over £800, and we still have this statistic to this day that 90% of the young people that turned up signed up on the blood stem register. So for us, that was amazing, and we went from strength to strength. I said to Ashley, look, this is working. The police, the community, we're raising awareness, we're getting people together, community, police, irrespective of your cultural background. So let's put something a bit more together, a structure. So we put together an information pack, a presentation in 2017, and we invited senior officers. We didn't get lots of police officers that turned up, but we had some, and really and truly, I'll be honest with you, we ran our first proper KickoffAt3 tournament because we didn't have a name. We were just running a tournament, so we gave it a name, and we came up with the name KickoffAt3. We wanted something short and punchy that young people can remember, easy. Don't do what a lot of people do, turn up at 3 o'clock for kickoff, because even though it's KickoffAt3, the title, our branding, our organisation, it's just a title. Don't turn up at 3 o'clock unless we specifically tell you to. But I think really 2006, that's when it fully really took off nationally, because being part of the Black Police Association, Cheshire 2017, they have an annual conference, and I was asked. I didn't actually know at the time when I was at the conference. I had about an hour warning that you're going to be doing a presentation about hundreds of police officers from across the country. So it's called in the job winging it a little bit.
Know that one.
So I didn't really have a presentation other than, you know, a picture of us. So I got up on stage, a few hundred officers and staff members, and presented about the ethos giving, what we're doing, and that's when it really took off. That's when we got interest from Northern Ireland, Durham, Wiltshire, and Manchester. It's just growing and growing. And this is really, if you fast forward, this is where we are now, 2019. We've engaged over 4,000 young people. And to be honest, we've done it on our own with a very small team of volunteers. Those police staff are now Tracy Gittins, Deborah Thomas, a big good support from the chair of the Black Police Association, Janet Hills, and just really good people from the police and outside the police, and community members and small organisations that has believed in us, believed in our ethos, believe we're doing it from the heart for the right reasons, and we want that journey to continue 2020 and beyond.